So, why do I want to run for the Morton School Board? Bit of a trick question, really. Because the honest answer, I don't want to run for the Morton School Board. I really don't. This campaign has brought attacks, hate, and even threats against me and my family. So trust me when I say, I pray constantly for God to take this burden from me. But whenever I feel that weight, and whenever I start to feel despondent, He sends me a message. A DM from a mother whose child had to transfer out of the school because they were suicidal from the relentless bullying they experienced in 709. And with that, He gives me the strength to fight another day. To fight for the morals He taught me, for the values I was raised with in the church. Like loving my neighbor as myself. To do to the least of them what I would do to Him. To let the little children come to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. So, do I want to run for the board? No, I don't. But do I feel like I have to? Yes. Over the past year, I have heard literally hundreds of stories from families in our district. I've heard about children being called the N-word, being called a slave, being called the F-word, being told to kill themselves, being told they would burn in hell. And the administration did nothing. I've had over 20 families reach out to me because their child either transferred out of the Morton School District or switched to homeschooling because the bullying they endured was so severe, so relentless, that it became a threat to their mental health. And that's just the families that reached out to me, which means there's probably so many more that didn't. I've also had so many teachers reach out, sharing their stories of retaliation from the administration, describing a culture of fear propagated against the very people we trust to educate and protect our most precious resource, our children. I've had community members tell me stories of corruption and malfeasance at the highest levels of our district's leadership, and I just couldn't turn a blind eye. I couldn't ignore that pain, and I couldn't walk away from those people who were being hurt. So, here I am, trying to do my part to right the ship. For those in the community who are just now tuning into this journey and asking, well, why not try to work with the board? Why not offer solutions instead of pointing out all the problems? I totally understand why you may think that if you've only just now joined the journey. But if you look back further, you'll see that I spent a good 5 months going to board meetings and begging this board to work with me. I brought forth multiple proven programs designed to keep our schools safer and improve our students' mental health. Programs that would have cost our district nothing. And yet, this board refused to work with me. They refused to even discuss implementing the programs. So, yes, I did try to work with them. I did bring solutions to the table. They simply refused to listen or engage. So, that's why I'm asking the public to judge us by our actions, not just our words. If you're looking for a candidate who truly wants to protect your children and prioritize their mental health, it is not these board members, the same ones who rejected a free program that could have saved children's lives. In fact, in the year and a half I've been attending these meetings, the current board has not introduced a single policy aimed at helping the students in our district. Many of you have seen the vicious attacks against me on social media, at the board meetings, targeting my work, my character, even my personal life. And I know the aggressiveness of these attacks is very intimidating. It's discouraging. It makes people afraid to speak up. And that's exactly the goal. But I want to reassure you, the community members watching at home, that these loud voices are not the majority. Over the past year, I've received hundreds of messages from students, Morton residents, and teachers thanking me for my advocacy and reassuring me that they support my vision for a kinder, more accepting and inclusive school culture. But they're afraid. They fear retaliation against their children if they're still students, against their jobs if they're school employees, or against their business if they're local owners. And I completely understand that fear. The pressure to preserve the status quo in Morton is very real, and pushing back against it comes with very real consequences. But after speaking with, once again, thousands of residents over the last year and a half, I am confident there is a silent majority ready to take a stand. So, if you're sitting at home, worried that you're alone and wanting change, I promise you, You are not. My greatest hope is that I win this election by a landslide. Not for my ego. I think we can all agree confidence is not something I lack. But because a decisive victory would finally empower this community to stop living in fear of a small group of people who have held so much power for too long. So do not give up hope. Change is coming. I truly believe this school board race is a turning point. A moment where we as a community get to decide who we want to be. Do we want to embrace the status quo? Continue as we always have? Turning away from those in need? Alienating anyone who wasn't born and raised here? Allowing a select few to continue abusing their power? Or do we want to embrace kindness and inclusion? Do we want to support all the students in our district? Not just the ones that were born into the right families, those that excel at sports, or those that wear the right clothes? Do we want a school board made up of members who all think the same, who never question leadership, never bring new ideas to the table? A board that lost the district $1.6 million and has not passed a single policy aimed at helping you or your children? Or are we ready to bring back innovation, opportunity, accountability to our community? I don't claim to have all the answers, but I do promise to seek them out, to listen, to learn, and to work alongside the amazing people in this community to make our schools better. Because Morton is full of good people who genuinely want the best for our kids. So let's show them what that looks like. Vote to keep our schools safe, to make them kind again. Vote to support our children's mental health. Vote to support our teachers and our support staff. Vote to protect our children. Vote for me.